Autzen Stadium, Eugene, Oregon. The 7th-ranked Ducks and the Boise State Broncos out of the Mountain West on a hot and hazy and humid night. We could be lighting up the scoreboard here as well. Thank you for being here. Thank you for spending your Saturday evening with us. That is Michael Robinson. I'm Andrew Siciliano. Laura Britt is down on the sideline. She will join us shortly. And Rob, it is hard to understate the significance of this game. Now with the 12-team playoff, there is a clear path for a group of 5 team into the postseason. If Boise State can win this here tonight in Autzen, they're likely ranked next week, and they have a path. Meantime, Oregon fell from 3 to 7 last week with a less than convincing win over Idaho. They're looking to the mirror, and they're looking for a better performance tonight. We have 2 legit Heisman Trophy candidates. Tell me about Dillon Gabriel up first.
Oh, man, Dillon Gabriel, he's one of the most decorated passers in college football history. He's very efficient. He's explosive, and what teams are doing, they're not allowing the big explosive pass over the top. So he has to do a great job of continuing to take what the defense gives him. If he can take what the defense gives him, I think the Oregon offense will have a good night.
41-49 last week, but they need more explosives. You want to talk about explosives? How about Ashton Jeanty? Is 267 and 6 touchdowns good?
Oh, it's great, man. I thought it was video game numbers. I had to do a double take when I saw that this kid averaged over 13 yards per carry last week. He is everything for this Boise State offense, and quite frankly, he has to be the best player on the football field for the Boise State Broncos to have a chance tonight.
It is loud in here. This is a big one. Autzen Stadium, Big Ten Saturday.
Hey, Andrew, keep an eye tonight on the offensive line. The Ducks' offensive line struggled in Week 1 against Idaho. Quarterback Dillon Gabriel was sacked 3 times. For comparison's sake, all of the past 2 seasons, the Ducks led the nation in fewest sacks allowed, just 10 total. The offensive line issues could stem from 2 notable departures. Jackson Powers-Johnson, the former Ducks center, was drafted by the Raiders, and former Ducks right guard Stephen Jones also departed for the NFL. The Oregon offensive line accounted for 5 of the Ducks' 8 penalties in Week 1. Offensive coordinator Will Stein told me a major point of emphasis this week has been eliminating negative plays, Andrew.
Spencer Danielson here knows this team has to play better than how it did against Georgia Southern. They got to win. They need to step it up here tonight if they want to knock off. Here we go. Autzen Stadium, Boise State kick it off, and we are underway with a touchback. Noah Whittington, ball over his head, and we get our first look now at the Oregon Ducks and our Papa John's starting lineups here. They're delivered to you by Papa John's. We mentioned Dillon Gabriel here, a 6th-year senior, came over from Oklahoma. The lefty has James in the backfield. Tez Johnson, who had a huge game a week ago, his #1 target.
Yeah, Tez Johnson, he is a walking completion. We talked about in the open, Dillon Gabriel, one of the most efficient passers in college football history. If he can continue to take what defenses are starting to give him, that's how he can open up the explosives downfield.
That open up with James in the backfield, and he's going to get a carry. He's going to break a tackle, and this is a good start here on the ground. Lanning said he wants 5.5 yards a carry. Last week, only 2.9. This is a good start. Out to the 32, a gain of 7.
Yeah, great start by this Oregon offense. You see Dillon Gabriel right there. A very efficient game last week, 41-49, almost 400 yards. But one of the things that I saw, he did not turn the football over. Again, protecting the football, giving the offense a chance.
And finding room and time to take shots downfield. Look out! Hassani takes him down!
Second play of the game. You're going to love this kid right here. He is high energy. You can see the left tackle kind of falls down. Ahmed getting to Dillon Gabriel. This defense wants some success. He's going to have a big day.
Josh Connerly, the left tackle here. Gabriel gets this one away. Complete. Traeshon Holden after the loss of 7 on that sack. There is a flag, however, down on this one on a 3rd and 9 on the far sideline. Our referee tonight is Chris Coit.
5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
So 3rd down again, but 3rd down and more manageable 3rd and 3. Got to get to the 35. Gabriel, pocket collapsing, rolling out to the left, eyes downfield. Gabriel makes a move and he gets tripped up.
Yeah, Shea Oladipo made the play. Alexander Tubner was there on the play as well. But this is one thing you did not see from Dilon Gabriel last week. At least not much of it, was him using his legs, scrambling, even though there was some run lanes. It's a good job by this Boise State defense.
Latrell Capel standing at the 20.
Yeah, this kid's fearless. If he has some room, be careful.
Capel's big game a week ago. It's a low line drive kick. He comes up, takes it on the run, 35-40. Capel's tripping, but staying on his feet and taking it across midfield. So great field position here to start things off for the Broncos.
Yeah, look at the excitement. Latrell's, he's pumped up right there. Tackle by the long snapper Basso right there. Let's see this return. First of all, running forward, this is a pretty scary position for a punt returner. But like I said, this kid's fearless. If he didn't get tripped up right there, he may have had more room to run. Good job.
A 17-yard return for Latrell Capel gives the Boise State Broncos great field position starting in plus territory, the 49-yard line. As we see for the first time today, Madsen, who won that job in camp, beating out Malachi Nelson. Sire Gaines, the 17-year-old freshman in the backfield. He's going to get the first carry. He had 100 yards as well last week, not to mention the 200 we saw from Ashton Jeanty, who often lines up wide at wide receiver. Starting lineups now delivered by Papa John's. We mentioned the quarterback, Dirk Cutter, pounded the table this week for his guy, Madsen. Some people thought it could have been Nelson. Madsen won the job and proved he deserved it last week.
And he won the job right out. We talked to the coaching staff this week, and he said everybody in this building knows who the starting quarterback is. It's number 4. It's Madsen.
Now with Jaenty in the backfield. First time we see him today. Ashton Jeanty picks up a couple of yards to the 41 to set up 3rd and 2.
Yeah, very hard to tone down the enthusiasm. We got an injured Bronco player down, looks like an offensive lineman. This kid, Ashton Jeanty, he is a franchise running back.
Here for the Boise State Broncos, that is the right guard, Michael Robinson, Roger Carry-On, and the card is out.
It's a tough play right here. Here's Roger right there. Effort play, just going around. You see the left ankle right there. Just get rolled up on.
All time.
Let's see how big that injury is, Andrew. This is a gap scheme offense in the run game. A lot of pullers from the guard position.
With Ashton Jeanty getting around right end, getting the first down. He can break tackles. He gets to the outside and gets the first to the 25. Gain of 17.
To watch this young man run the football, here he is just going to take the ball and it bounces. But watch how he uses his stiff arm. Watch how he uses the tools that he has in his tool bag as he circles the defense, gets around the edge. And he's a tough kid to bring down on the secondary. Good run.
And Jaenty takes it to the 24. As they're going to operate out of the pistol, give it to Jaenty again. Penetration into the backfield. He runs right by it and takes it to the 20. You talked about the contact balance. You talked about his ability to break tackles. Last week, Emrod, Jaenty had 161 yards after initial contact.
That's crazy. I mean, and really his contact balance, you can see it here. Unblocked guy in the backfield. He still gets through and gets to the second level. But just look at that. Just go around me. He's not even concerned about the defensive lineman. And again, falling forward, a staple of a big-time running back.
Right around Derek Harmon, the big Michigan State transfers. Now it looks as if the Broncos are going to back up. Movement on the right side of that offensive.
Offense, number 65, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
In the backfield, you got Marshall and Capel to the right, the tight end Lauder standing up to the right as well, as they're going to throw it left, setting up the screen. Nowhere to go. Marshall ripped out of the 27.
Keon Ware-Hudson in on the tackle. Brandon Johnson again also there and on the tackle. Just a little wide receiver screen, but just Oregon defense in its attacking nature playing downhill, hitting everything moving.
Brandon Johnson had a pick a week ago on 3rd down. Ball into the end zone. Knocked down. Incomplete. It was in the hands there of number 9, Cameron Camper, at 99 yards a week ago. He could not bring it down. Nico Reed, who had a pick a week ago on the coverage.
Yeah, Cam Camper just couldn't hang on to this one. I love how he attacks the football while it's in the air, and it just goes off of his hands right there. I know Cam wishes he had this one back.
Thomas now in for a 43-yard field goal try. Dalmas' kick is up and good. And Boise State is on the board first. Field goal. Jonah Dalmas sets the kick up.
One thing about this Boise State team, the environment, this game is not too big for them. They came out fired up.
All right, so we got another touchback there over the head of Whittington. And we're going to see here what happened during the break. This is Peyton Pritchard. Boston Celtic just won an NBA championship. He's an Oregon native. He was the 2020 Pac-12 Player of the Year playing basketball here for the Ducks. And a big ovation here for, fair to call him, local legend, Peyton Pritchard. Second possession here for Dillon Gabriel and the Ducks. And they open on the ground by running right up the middle to Jordan James, who bounces off the tackle. And then James looked like he had a clear angle around the left side, but couldn't stay on his feet.
See Jordan James right there again. One thing I said at the beginning of this game, we're looking at the line of scrimmage and seeing if these double teams from this Oregon offense gets to the second level. You see right there, just the Boise State defensive line being very stout and tackling in space.
Please reset
so really good tackle right there.
Number 7, Marion McCoy.
20 seconds.
See this Oregon offense, see if he can continue to be patient. Again, take what this Boise State defense gives them.
Traeshon Holden, bottom of the screen there, wearing number 1. The give to James, who gets hit immediately by Andrew Simpson, but spins forward and gets close to a first down.
That's 9 right there, Andrew.
It is third down. Big for this Boise State defense last week. They were not good. They were able to get off the field with a 3-and-out first possession. Not able to do it here, as it's caught by the transfer, Evan Stewart. Actually, he's going to be out of bounds about a yard short. So it is 4th down. And let's see what Dan Lanning decides to do. The offense right now is staying on the field. He's about a half-yard short, if that, Emrod.
Wow, let's see what this offensive line, if this offensive line can move this Boise State defensive line a yard or two, or if you put it in your quarterback's hands, Dilon Gabriel's hands. He's seen it all. Very efficient passer.
All right, from under center, James in the backfield. 4th and half a yard. Are they going to go for it from their own 34?
Delay a game. Offense, 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
They were trying to draw him offsides. Boise State did not jump, and out comes Ross James and the Oregon punt team. So 2 possessions, 2 punts so far for the Ducks. Caples had a return of 17 yards, set up his offense with great field position. On Ross James' last punt, he stands at the 15, and he gets it away. This one a little better hang time. Caples calls fair catch, and he takes it at the 20. Look at that beautiful sunset here behind Autzen Stadium.
Andrew, that's a great show. I don't know if you've watched it. I have.
I have not watched it. It's also a great sunset there in the Willamette Valley. As we are back to football. Second drive here for Madsen and Boise State. They give to Ashton Jeanty. He's knocked out of the backfield. Great job by the safety, Brandon Johnson.
Great play by Brandon Johnson right there, just on the edge of this Oregon defense, knifing in to stop Ashton Jeanty. Again, a great back like Ashton Jeanty. You have to get this kid before he gets started. Quick penetration is the quickest killer of a run game.
And the crowd gets loud. Jeanty's 4th carry of the night. He's got 23. It's a loss of 2. He's still in the backfield to Madsen's left. That's the big tight end, Matt Lauder, in motion. Throw over the middle. It's caught. Losing a helmet. And still fighting to the 25-yard line. That's Latrell Capel.
Wow, we know Latrell is a tough kid. Let's see this catch right here. After the catch, he tries to get north. Helmet comes off. Look at that. Locks everywhere, Andrew.
And Caples has to go to the sideline, losing his helmet for one play. Bryce Betcher, the linebacker, the local, with the tackle on 3rd down. A throw and a catch to the tight end Lauder, and a good tackle by Jabbar Muhammad. And they're going to be short of the first down.
That's a great play by Jabbar Muhammad right there. The transfer out of Washington. This kid was flying around in pregame. You see the crossing route right here. Madsen puts it on his receiver, and look at Jabbar just close the space and make the tackle before Penry can get the first down.
It was actually Chase Perry there, as you said, Emrov, not Lauder. with the catch, and it's 4th down, 4th and 2 after the 4-yard gain on 3rd down. James Ferguson Reynolds back to punt, and the Aussie gets it away. Fair catch called for, 28-yard line. Dan Lanning's Oregon Ducks trailing here 3-0 to Boise State. 5:27 remaining in the first quarter. As prolific an offense as there is in college football. Will Stein calling the plays here. Their rankings last year through the roof, and last week also pretty darn good. 487 yards, M-Rob, last week in that closer than expected win over Idaho through 2 drives here today as they open up their 3rd drive on their own 28-yard line. Only 12 yards of offense. Gabriel's going to take a shot. Look for the explosive. Down the sideline. Stewart has it. There it is. Inside the 10.
Evan Stewart just gassing it and running right past the corner. You see it, right? I mean, this is just a flat-out sprint. And Dilon Gabriel puts it right in the breadbasket. Great explosive pass.
A gain of 67. Now Whittington fighting for the goal line. Not going to get there. He's brought down by Ty Benefield. So they go tempo. They run down the field after the 67-yard explosive that they talked all week that they needed.
And that's what they needed. Again, getting tempo after an explosive, catching the defense off guard. There's Dillon.
Gabriel's got to keep it himself. Touchdown. And Madsen awakens.
This crowd is pumped up. Dilon Gabriel finally gets in the end zone. But it all started with that explosive pass play, and then this offense kicked it into gear, went into tempo, ran the football, got in the end zone. Great job by this Oregon Ducks offense.
And now Sappington, Atticus Sappington, in his 2nd game as an Oregon Duck, the transfer from Oregon State, out for the point after, and he nails it. 3 plays, 72 yards on that drive. March down the field. That's what they needed. And then Gabriel on the keeper with his 155th career touchdown, breaking a tie with Commanders quarterback, former Notre Dame and Wake Forest quarterback Sam Hartman, 2nd on the all-time list. Let's go down to the sideline, Laura Britt.
Andrew, Dillon Gabriel was one of 13 transfers to join Oregon this year, and he needed a way to quickly build chemistry with his new teammates. So he continued a tradition that started when he first transferred to Oklahoma in 2022, the dime time retreat, Gabriel's way for the offense to bond away from the football facility. So in June, some of the offense went to Grants Pass. They had a great time. And it wasn't all about football. The 3-on-3 basketball tournament and the quaking of the pool brought a smile to Gabriel's face when he told me about the weekend. It seems like it worked.
Yeah, it worked. And all 3 of us could not have been more impressed as we see the Duck dressing up like Mr. Potato Head. We have Idaho jokes here with the Broncos in town. Could not have been more impressed by Gabriel's maturity, his leadership. Said he came back to win a championship. Could have gone to the NFL. He is the team builder here in this locker room.
Dilon Gabriel, the reason he's here is to put this team over the top, get him into the CFP, and possibly a national championship.
Which is what they're fighting for, and which is what they know. Last week's result didn't feel right.
This Oregon Ducks team that definitely processed Oregon.
From the 25, Madsen from under center. Madsen has a man open. There's an explosive on the other side. Camper, the former Indiana wide receiver, with a nice catch, and they move the chains immediately there on the play fake.
Yeah, that's a great play design by Dirk Cutter right there. Just a little scissors concept in the slot. Again, coming off the play action, if you play it against a Dirk Cutter offense, you're gonna have to deal with the play action pass. You see that quarters coverage right there. Can't cover both plays. It's a good route design right there by Dirk Cutter.
Camper gets 16, takes it to the 41. Jaenty in the backfield, play fake to him. All kinds of time to throw and catch, and another one. This time it's Caples. First down just like that. 2 big completions. Territory.
When you have such an asset in the backfield like an Ashton Jeanty. Anytime you turn around and put the ball into his stomach, the entire defense is going to move forward and freeze, and it manipulates the underneath coverage you see right there.
Over the head of Traeshon Johnson, who did not play a week ago, non-injury related, number 0 back on the field here. It gets loud as Madsen moves Jaenty to the left of the formation and gives it to him. Ashton Jeanty looking for room, finding room, always churning forward, breaking tackles. That is a good gain of close to 7 on first down. Nico Reed with the tackle. Boise State down 2 starters on offense at center and at right guard, but Jaenty is running right, and he's bouncing off the Ducks, and he's getting another first down to the 16-yard line. They are in the red zone.
You see that right there? Again, you see Jeffrey Bassett with the tackle. That's 2-on-2 ground, but look how he gets
Illegal
to the feet of the offensive lineman.
Backfield offense, 5-yard penalty, second down.
It's to the feet of the offensive lineman before he makes the cut. Look at the contact. Look how he's running through contact. His feet are on fire. That's what we say it in the running back.
Jeffrey Bassett. 2nd and 8 now, the 31. They give to Jaenty. Running right again. Look at him lower the shoulder. And look at him pick up a couple of yards. You know, Emrock, for a guy that is not that big, and we saw Ashton Jeanty at the hotel last night, 5'9", 215. He seeks out contact at that side.
Oh, my goodness. Did you see him in warm-ups without a shirt on? If you have muscles on top of muscles, Andrew, oh, my goodness. You'd be doing the same thing, too, as he runs through Jeffrey Bassett right there. That's a powerful individual. That's a powerful run by Ashton.
Crowd gets loud, 3rd and 2. Play clock at 10. Got to get it to the 23. Give it to Jaenty, running left, I beg your pardon.
These kids must see TV.
To the 22-yard line. Coming up on a minute remaining here in the first quarter. Oregon a lead over Boise State 7-3. Ball on the ground. Bad snap. Madsen picks it up, hit as he throws, and over the head of Lauder, just trying to throw it away, the tight end on the sideline.
Got a new center, Zach Holmes. He thought Madsen was underneath the center as opposed to in the shotgun, but Madsen, great poise. He stays in the pocket, stays strong, throws the football away. Boise State lives to fight another day.
With Mason Randolph out with a bicep injury, Zach Holmes, Wesleyan High School, is an Oregon native, starting here at center for Boise State. Madsen to throw, has time, loading up, firing left, low throw near the 15-yard line.
After distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Yeah, well, let's take a look back at that play right there. You see Derek Harmon as he gets through the offensive line. Then again, yeah, he hits Madsen right in the head right there, as he tries to put his hands up to knock the football down.
Place just shy of the 10. So the Broncos can get a first down without getting into the end zone. Madsen on the keeper behind Lauder. Madsen running left, staying on his feet, and falling forward across the 5.
Read option. You see Madsen pull it. But watch Matt Lauder. Watch 85 right there as he blocks 2 people and gives space for his quarterback to get a couple extra yards. That's the effort that you're accustomed to seeing here at Boise State.
Dilon Gabriel's got a touchdown. Number 7, Oregon has a lead on a hot night here in Autzen Stadium, Eugene, Oregon.
We are back here about to start the second quarter. The Ducks with a 7-3 lead over Boise State right now. Ahmed Hassanin, who sacked Dillon Gabriel earlier in this game, is on the table right now getting his leg wrapped, but he's got quite the remarkable story. He was born in the United States but raised in Egypt by his father, and he lived there until 2016. That's when his half-brother Corey Bush, who was a high school English teacher and football coach, visited Egypt, saw Hassanin, convinced him to come back to the United States to play football. 2 problems. Hassanin didn't speak English and didn't know football. He credits his half-brother for teaching him both. Hassanin, the first player from Egypt to ever play FBS football. Again, Andrew, he's on the table right now getting his right leg wrapped, so keep an eye on that.
The Boise State offense here facing a 2nd and goal. They are on the 3. Jaenty in the backfield as they go with the jumbo Clydesdale formation here. Caples in motion to give to Jeanty, and that Oregon D-line stands tall.
It gets through the goal line. Let's check this out right here as he enters the line of scrimmage. Close to a face mask, but I don't think that was. Derek Harmon, he's all over the place.
As they give it to Jaenty again, bouncing to the outside. Ashton Jeanty had 6 a week ago. He's got another one, a 7th touchdown of the year. And Boise State takes the lead. Second quarter at Madsen.
Great eyes, as you can see right here, as Jaenty gets down and then bounce it. Watch the little hesitation. That hesitation freezes the defense. Right there, that little bit of a step inside brought all of the defenders to the blockers, allowed the space for him to bounce. See Jaenty right there. He is the spark plug for this entire Boise State team.
Behind the block of the fullback, Tyler Crow, who checked in out of the eye. Jaenty gets the touchdown. Jonah Dolmas hits the extra point. He was perfect last week's on his extra points. And Jaenty is living up to the hype in a primetime appearance here against a top 10 team.
Yeah, he's living it up. Double teams got to the second level. Fullback got on his guy. As you can see it right here, they just caved the entire right side down of the Oregon defensive front. Allowed for Jaenty.
New York, although we are quite early. Ashton Jeanty into the end zone with his already 7th touchdown of the year. That one's close to going out of bounds. To the billing, you know he is going to get the ball. He gets an average of 22 touches a game. He had a 77-yard touchdown right out of the gate on his official first carry of the game a week ago against Georgia Southern. There was a penalty on his actual first carry. You know he's getting it. He's still scoring here as Oregon opens up with a low pass and a completion on first down to the tight end, Kenyon Sadiq, who had 4 catches for 53 yards a week ago. The Idaho native playing his 2nd straight game.
Yeah, let's see if Sadiq actually caught this pass right here. Yeah, I think he got it. I think he got his hands up underneath. You see right here, Kenyon Sadiq. He's more of the mover or more of the receiving tight end. You actually saw him run the football last week against Idaho.
For the Idaho native playing against a team from Idaho for the 2nd consecutive week as James breaks the tackle. James gets loose.
You see Jordan James right here again. We're going to get a puller, go right here, and then James is going to go into the line of scrimmage and then bounce this football in the backside A. Again, great eyes to find the lane, force missed tackles. That's something Dan Lanning told us.
Gain of 12 there, and now here's 15, Tez Johnson, who takes a hard hit. Johnson near the 45-yard line for a short gain. Johnson, 12 catches a week ago. This one's a gain of 3, and the hit, and a good one there from Marion McCoy up high, and Rodney Robinson down low.
That's a great play right there. Marion McCoy, again, at playing cornerback position. All of the corners here at Boise State are aggressive, willing tacklers. It's a good tackle right there.
Gabriel now on 2nd and 7, hit and brought down again.
Yeah, Rodney Robinson, the nickelback right there, confusing the blocking scheme of this Oregon offensive line. Some new guys up front, some shuffling. Just didn't quite get the offensive protection unit to the blitzer. This Boise State defense, they're turned up.
It's a loss of 8, and it's going to set up 3rd and long, 3rd and 15. Have to get it across midfield to the 47. Gabriel chased again, sacked again.
Right now, these are consecutive blitzes, play after play, confusing the blocking unit of the Oregon Ducks, challenging Dilon Gabriel if he's going to run the football. This is an all-out blitz, 0 coverage. Nowhere to go with the football for Dilon Gabriel. Locked down.
And now the punt as Caples backs up that Oregon offensive line. Caples is going to let it bounce, go into the end zone. Boise State has a lead here 10-7 after the Ashton Jeanty touchdown. The defense stepped up with back-to-back sacks, both of them from the secondary, both of them from nickelbacks. 1 for Robinson, 1 for Oladipo, and Oregon quarterback Dilon Gabriel has been sacked already 3 times today. And we still have 11:15 remaining in the second quarter. Last 2 seasons, Oregon and their quarterbacks have been sacked only 10 times. This year, already 6. As we're back to play, Madsen to play fake. Ball knocked down in the backfield there. As it was Jordan Birch, the defensive end, who got a hand up on that one.
Yeah, Jordan Birch had a half a sack last week against Idaho. This kid is huge. 6'6", 290 pounds. Puts his big paws up. Madsen cannot throw the football around him.
Jordan Birch, the South Carolina transfer. 2nd and 10. Give to Jaenty. Knocked down to the backfield.
Great job of getting that quick penetration. And then you see Devin Jackson coming over the top. Making the tackle in the backfield again. To stop a run game, you have to get this quick penetration. Boise State offensive line didn't get up to the will linebacker. Devin Jackson shot the gap. Got Jaenty in the backfield.
3rd and 11. And this Oregon crowd gets on its feet. Play clock winding down. Madsen calls for it. Quick screen to the outside. Jaenty! Nowhere to go! Bryce Betcher.
That's a great play by Bryce Betcher. The baseball player, wasn't he just drafted by the Houston Astros? But he showed how much he loved football on this play. Look at the aggressiveness. He beats the block.
Chris
Marshall, yeah. Makes the tackle on Jaenty right there. Great effort. Big-time tackle on a franchise back.
Absolutely. Betcher, a double walk-on, both football and baseball, drafted 13th round, as you said, Rob, by the Houston Astros, likely heading to spring training in Arizona in February.
Got space.
Here he makes a tackle. Tez Johnson has space. Johnson, big return. Tripped up across the Boise State 35.
Tez Johnson, this is the guy. This is the excitement for this stadium and team, as you can hear this stadium right now. Low kick by Boise State allowed Tez Johnson to catch this thing on the bounce. Watching this kid in pregame, he's excited about playing football, and he can run all day, Andrew. I saw this kid run every route in the route tree, back to back. He's also the punt returner. Cannot give a kid like that space as the excitement to get the entire stadium excited. It's a good return.
A 24-yard return for the man who led Oregon with 86 receptions a year ago. Tez Johnson, #1 weapon on the outside here for Dilon Gabriel, who's got great field position, 34-yard line. Trailing 10-7. Gabriel has time to set up and fire over the middle towards the end zone. There's a catch. There's a touchdown. Gabriel with the score to Evan Stewart.
Big-time play design right here by Will Stein, offensive coordinator for the Oregon Ducks. See Dillon Gabriel right there showing a little swag and personality. They max protected, got their wideouts out on routes. See Evan Stewart, who had an explosive earlier that led to a score earlier. This time, Dilon Gabriel puts the ball on him on a deep post.
A 34-yard touchdown for Evan Stewart, who is already over 100 yards. That other explosive 67 to set up the first Oregon score. This one, 34 for the second Oregon score. When he has time, Gabriel's Dilon, and the Ducks are back in front. Quarter, Ashton Jeanty already has his 7th touchdown of the season here tonight. He was back near the goal line. He's now going to move up to the 20 as the up back, as Caples is back to return, and he will let it go over his head. Jaenty and Dilon Gabriel, the two Heisman hopefuls. Michael Robinson in this game. He's been sacked. Gabriel has already 3 times today. But when he has time, he's going to carve you up.
Oh, yeah, you give this kid time. He's going to find his explosives. You see him hitting Evan Stewart in stride, just dropping it right in the bucket. And again, right here, just a little read option play right here. And you can see him fired up. And here's the touchdown play right here. Just a great design by offensive coordinator Will Stein. Gets Evan Stewart again. Do your dance, young man.
34-yard touchdown. Mentioned Jaenty earlier. It's now Sire Gaines The 17-year-old freshman to the backfield doesn't turn 18 for a couple of more weeks. Gaines had over 100 yards a week ago. 10 last week came on only 12 carries. For the freshman out of California, Madsen now on second down. Ball deflected, and it falls incomplete at the 25. So energized by this Autzen crowd, the defense here for the Ducks trying to get off the field and face.
Yeah, you see Big Caldwell right there getting his big paw up, getting his hand up in Madsen's face. But again, when you talk about this Boise State offense, it starts with the run game. So straight drop back passing without some type of play action to give the offensive line an advantage puts this Boise State offense at a disadvantage.
Caldwell 6'1", 340. Madsen Chase throwing it over the head of his tight end, Matt Wagner, and incomplete. And after the one-play touchdown drive, the Oregon defense forces the 3-and-out. Group of 5 top-ranked team of the Group of 5 at the end of the year gets a spot in the 12-team playoff. Tez Johnson had a big return last time. Not going to have one here. He's got to take the Ross James punt and call a fair catch near the 30. Dan Lanning might be tuned into his Ducks right now, leading 14-10. Gabriel 6-4-6. There's a flag down here as Johnson cuts it back inside and gets tripped up near the 35, but multiple flags are down.
Holding, offense number 18. 10-yard penalty, first down.
The tight end, Kenyon Sadiq.
Yeah, Kenyon Sadiq, you see him right there. Right there with the hold. And again, that's an effort penalty.
It's going to back him up inside the 20, and now a 1st and 20 throw to the outside and caught there by Traeshon Holden, who turns it upfield, gets some of that yardage back, but not much.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, offense number 1 is first of the game. Half the distance to the goal. The down counts, it's second.
See it right here, just an aggressive tackle by Marion McCoy. See Traeshon Holden right there throwing.
Second guy always gets flagged.
Always.
McCoy with that shove out of bounds there, and Holden got upset. He didn't like it, and the second guy's the one that always gets caught. And now we have a hold on Sadiq, and then that on Holden, and they're going to back up again, and it's going to be 2nd and 31. Oregon needs to make it to the 38 for a new set of downs. Gabriel, the keeper. That's not going to get all of it back, but it's going to get a couple back. Gabriel didn't run much last week as well. Almost looked as if, Michael, that he was hesitant to run, as if he had been told not to run when maybe space opened up. Oregon 0 for 3 on 3rd down today. This is a 3rd and 23. Yeah, need the 38. Gabriel alone to the backfield, takes the snap, pressured. Gabriel brought down again!
Andrew Simpson, here he is right here, acting like he's talking to one of his teammates. Faked the offensive line out and got to Dilon Gabriel, one of the better off-the-ball linebackers, pass rushers in the country.
Georgia Southern, he also had a sack. And here he gets another one for Boise State. High punt taken to the 50-yard line. Good return down the sideline. Cooper Jones. And great field position across the 30-yard line. So a short field after, again, Boise State and Eric Chenander, that DC is in the Oregon backfield.
Yeah, they are in the Oregon backfield. This Oregon offensive line, they don't know exactly where the extra guys are coming from. See Eric Chenander put an extra guy on the defensive line to the left. The line slides that way, then he sends pressure from the right.
As Boise State's going to open on the plus 30 with Camper in motion and Jaenty in the backfield. And Jaenty trying to find some room.
As a safety, if you're a free hitter, you have to be a playmaker. Brandon definitely was on that play.
No gain, 2nd down. 5.5 to go here. 2nd quarter. Oregon leading 14-10. Caught in traffic. Caples across the 20. Dangerous throw there, but Caples has it. Holds on to the football.
For Boise State. Just a little slant inside receiver. That play almost actually got picked by Bassa.
Not sure Bossa saw it.
Yeah, that ball came out hot. See Latrell fighting for yards.
Jaenty the back, under 5 to go. Second quarter, play fake to Jaenty. Madsen throwing, end zone, and he's got a touchdown. Camper. The transfer from Indiana with a 17-yard score.
Great play by the University of Indiana transfer, Cam Camper, with a little toe drag swag right here. Madsen throws an absolute dime. And Andrew, that is inbounds on Saturdays, on Sundays, and any day in between. Great catch by Cam Camper.
Jabbar Muhammad on the coverage. Got both feet down. Jonah Dalmas nails the extra point. Takes advantage.
Boys, he definitely takes advantage. See Madsen throwing a dime. Cam with the big catch. We'll be back. It's a good job by this Boise State offense.
Torn ACL a couple of years ago at Indiana, and a huge addition to this Boise State team. And they have done it tonight, as they did last week as well. Down against Georgia Southern, racking up the sacks. 4 here tonight, and Dilon Gabriel, when he has time, has been good. 6 for 6 passing, but they've been getting after it. Here on first down, they will run. Give it to James, who's got a good head of steam, and James will lower his shoulder, fall forward for a gain of 10 and a first down, trying to bring some life back to this crowd that got a little quiet after Boise State took the lead 17-14.
Now, I know many people look at this Oregon offense. They're a spread team, but in the run game, they want to be physical. You saw it come to life right there with Jordan James.
That was a gain of 11. Not going to get it here. Braxton Feely, who you see sometimes on the offense as a tight end in the backfield here for Oregon's offense.
See Braxton Feely right there just playing a 2-eye, swims the guard and gets in the backfield. Oftentimes defensive tackles, when they get in the backfield, they don't always make the tackle. Braxton Feely right there, playmaker defensive tackle.
Beat the left guard, 55 Marcus Harper. Loss of 3 brings up second and 13. James in the run game. James breaking tackles. James brought down by Teubner.
It's a great tackle by Alexander Teubner right there.
A special night for Teubner, the Seaside, Oregon native, playing in Oregon, the former walk-on. Clearly offsides here. Ferguson with the catch. Terrence Ferguson at midfield. Let's see if they let this stand. Oregon's run into the 50. There is a flag on the far sideline.
Defense number 23. Penalties declined. The result of the play is their first down.
Oladipo is in the backfield. They're going to let it go. It's a gain of 15. Didn't have the clear path to the quarterback. No whistle. And Gabriel quick to get it out. Got the first down, 15, to his tight end. And now Gabriel to the outside to his wide receiver. That's caught Evan Stewart. Brought down by his fellow number 7, Marion McCoy on the far sideline. Clock winding down now. In a 4 2nd and 6. Oregon, Dan Lanning wants to win the middle 8 here. Last 4 minutes of one half, first 4 minutes of the second. Stewart takes a big pop. Incomplete near the 20 as Gabriel was under pressure and tried to loft it down the sideline.
Gabriel was definitely under pressure right there, throwing from a well. But Marion McCoy did a great job finding the football, playing downhill on Evan Stewart and not getting the penalty for unnecessary roughness. Gets his helmet out of the play, hits him with his shoulder, gives him a little love tap. Says, I'm here.
He is here. And now we have a Bronco down on the field. That's McCoy. Broncos with 3 interceptions a year ago. Actually could have had a 4th, dropped 1 in the bowl game at SoFi Stadium. Making his presence felt here tonight. 3rd and 6. Oregon with Sadiq in the backfield, the tight end, now motioning out to the left, needs to get to Boise State 39 to keep this drive alive. They're going to run on the end around. Not going to get it.
No, definitely not going to get it on that. You see Kenyon Sadiq.
And it's now 4th and 7, and the punt team is out, and this clock is going to wind down towards the 2-minute timeout for another result that they didn't think they would see coming. A punt here in a 17-14 game. Boise State with the lead, and here a touchback as Caples lets it go over his head, and Ross James is going to put it in the end zone.
Against a team in Boise State who is not afraid of the moment, and they're playing physical football right now.
Ashton Jeanty breaks a tackle in the backfield, because of course he does, and breaks free across the 30, the 40. Jeanty keeps going, out of bounds near midfield.
Wow, what a run by Ashton Jeanty. I'm sorry. Using his stiff arm, circling the defense. You see Ashton right here trying to get downhill. One missed tackle, two missed tackles.
No missed tackle here.
No missed tackle right now.
No. Devin Jackson with the tackle. That was a gain of 31 for a tackle-breaking machine to open up this drive.
He forced 106 missed tackles in 2023, led the country by a mile.
Inside of 2 minutes remaining, as we hear Chris Coyner, referee, remember, inside of 2 minutes, so inside of the 2-minute timeout, the clock will stop for a first down. It will restart, however, when the ball is set. Madsen now from the 48. Out to Holt, or Bolt, I beg your pardon. Austin Bolt, 81.
The dirt cutter, offensive coordinator for Boise State, quarterback Madsen doing a good job working the sidelines, making sure his pass catchers get out of bounds.
Marshall in motion, bottom of your screen. Madsen, throw over the middle. That's a catch. Lauder, he's got a first down. Tuioti with the tackle. Going to get it to the 35, and the clock stops at 1:14 as they move the chains, and a gain of 10.
Watch the blitz pickup right there by Ashton Jeanty that allowed this play to get off. Look at that block right there.
Now Madsen takes the shot for Bolt, and he can't hang on. Jabbar Muhammad with the coverage inside the 10.
It's a good job by Jabbar Muhammad. Jumping up with Austin Bolt, trying to high point the football. See Jabbar limping a little bit.
Jabbar Muhammad, the transfer from UW, limping, a huge addition to that secondary with a nice play here, but it gets up slowly.
Yeah, you see him right there pin the receiver against the sideline. But you see Muhammad almost picked that ball off right there.
And he goes to the sideline. 1 minute to go, second down. Try to set up the screen. There it is, Jeanty at the 30. Jeanty takes a man with him and is brought down to the 27-yard line. Kobe Savage with the tackle. Tuioti there as well. And a clock stoppage at 47. Boise State takes its first timeout.
There's an art to running backs finding a way to get out on screens. You see Jeanty right there going underneath the 3 technique. Usually that spells despair for a running back, but he finds a way to get out, make a target for his quarterback, gets positive yards.
2 timeouts remaining, 46 seconds. Madsen gives to Jeanty, running forward, has the first down. Jeanty across the 20, into the red zone. Kobe Savage, the tackle, down to the 15.
Jeanty falling forward.
Now Madsen on first down, throwing inside the 5, ball low. Incomplete.
See how close this was to being a catch, Andrew. Maddox standing in the pocket. The ball actually gets tipped, and so the ball kind of dies right there. That's close.
27 on the clock. 2 timeouts. 15-yard line. Madsen. Jeanty picks up a block. Madsen throws inside the 5. Complete. That's Strawn and another first down. Manning with the tackle. They're going to stop the clock as they reset the chains. Seconds to go.
Watch this block by Ashton Jeanty again. Boom, right there. He took it a little bit, but he allowed his quarterback to get the pass off with the big completion.
Now the fade. Corner. Incomplete. Wanted camper and a flag.
Good ball placement.
There is no foul on the play. The contact was ruled legal. It's second down.
Let's look at it. They ruled it no contact. Nico Reed right there on the coverage. Again, 9 on 9. Looks like Camper tried a little bit of acting a little bit.
It was Reed, not Manning. You were right. M-Rob 9 and 9. And now Caples in motion. Madsen, the play fake. Madsen, lofting, back of the end zone, incomplete.
Madsen, when he sees this tape, I think he's gonna be upset with himself. There's the route Penry in the back of the end zone, but there's a tight end right underneath him that's wide open. I think Maddox just couldn't see him.
And now take the points is what Spencer Danielson says. Jonah Dalmas, a 21-yard field goal try with 5 seconds to go. Extends the lead for the Boise State Broncos. It is a 20-14 game with 2 seconds left here in the first half at Austin.
And I'm stunned a little bit. I think a lot of people here in this stadium are stunned a little bit how well Boise State is playing. I mean, look at this series right here. Boise State leads at 3-0.
Boise State has never lost to Oregon. 3 meetings here. You have the game in 2008. That was here in Oregon. Kellen Moore led the Broncos to a victory. Oregon down to its 4th and 5th string quarterbacks. By the time that game was over in 2009, that was the opener, the LeGarrette Blount game at Boise State. And then in 2017, Mario Cristobal's debut as head coach of the Ducks. That was the Las Vegas Bowl. We knew this game, I don't want to say it would be tight, but we knew Boise State would come in swinging here, Rob. But as we see Whittington back for the return here, this was the week in which Oregon was going to fix everything that didn't go perfectly last week. Short kickoff here. And a fair catch at the 30-yard line. And that physical brand of football. Sacking Dillon Gabriel 4 times. Riding Ashton Jeanty. Madsen with some nice work in the pocket as well.
Coach, your defense sacking Dillon Gabriel 4 times in the first half of this game. How would you describe their play?
Yeah, first off, thank you, Jesus. I mean, what an opportunity to be here. Our guys are playing their tails off. And Coach Chin's, the D staff, mixing up the looks. We knew we had to get after Dillon Gabriel. I mean, he's how everything runs through him. And our guys are playing hard. We got to finish now. We got to finish in all 3 phases. We got to finish together. Right now, I tell them your best is enough. Don't be someone you're not. Your best is enough. Finish together.
A 6-point lead right now at the half over the number 7 ranked team in the country. What's your message to your team?
Just that. I mean, believe. And don't put your Superman cape on. Your best is enough. But it's required of everybody, coaches and players, to finish this game.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Moore looking to go to 4-0 all-time against Oregon. Look at these stats. Ashton Jeanty is in the end zone. 95 yards total for the Broncos on the ground. The 4 sacks factor in the 18 rushing yards here for Oregon. But the offense that had it rolling last week but simply couldn't get the explosives and couldn't score is not getting the yardage here today. Oregon's first time trailing at home to a non-conference opponent since September 4th of 2021, 3 years ago. That was against Fresno State, trailed by a field goal in the 4th quarter, ended up winning that game by a touchdown, 31-24. Need to rally here to beat Boise State tonight.
Andrew, I just caught up with head coach Dan Lanning. I asked him what the demeanor was like and how his team was responding to the adversity of being down 6 by the half. He said simply, we're ready to go. We're ready to go, and that they are ready for the second half of this game. When asked about the adjustments they need to make, establish the run.
And stop the run as well. Rob O to be a fly on the wall in that locker room at the half. Play. Loose on the turf, and they're going to roll it, and incompletion as Madsen got drilled backpedaling, and he's lucky that wasn't a turn.
Very lucky that was. Let's see if his arm was going forward on that one.
Tuioti in the backfield. Yeah. His arm was going forward, just got the elbow.
Yeah, just got the elbow. He tried to pump it. Got lucky on that one.
And Oregon brings pressure on first down, trying to create the turnover. Forces the incompletion. On second down, Boise State will run. Got to stop the run to get a win here tonight. 3rd down tonight. Need to get to the 35. Madsen rolling. Eyes downfield. Lofting towards the sideline. That's a catch, and that is a first down. It's Austin Bolt to keep the drive alive.
He squared his shoulders up to back the defense up right there. That little look downfield, it backed Muhammad up. which opened up some space for him to get that ball in there.
Just over a minute in here in the second half. Give up the middle. That's the true freshman Sire Gaines with a nice gain. 4 gains on first down.
And as you mentioned, 17 years old. 17. This kid has young legs. He's ready to go.
Not old enough to vote. Turns 18 on the 25th of September. Another carry for Gaines.
This Boise State offensive line is in the interior, and they're definitely leaning on those guys. Been banged up over the last couple of weeks. A lot of guys rotating in the interior. They're doing a good job with their double teams, getting to the second level and providing space for these Bronco backs to run.
As we see Ashton Jacobs, the linebacker, looking into his helmet there. Here's the pressure. Madsen backpedaling, throwing an incomplete one, and Marshall, no flag.
This Boise State blocking unit. Derek Harmon again, just having a day. Beats the center, and Zach Holmes gets a pressure.
Always dangerous. Tez Johnson back at the 10. And a 34-yard punt return earlier to set up an Oregon score. Runs to the left and calls fair catch near the 12. And that's Boise State punter, the Aussie James Ferguson Reynolds there, number 46. He's more than just a mullet. He's a man that reaches into his own pocket and gives back every punt inside the 20. He's making his own donation of $20 to Flock, F-L-O-C-K, Cancer. Mom back in Australia, a cancer survivor. She is doing well. Boise State is doing well as well after that punt. We're back third quarter, 20-14. Broncos now on defense as Oregon will start on the ground with Jordan James. That's what they needed with a nice run over the left side. The tackle by Jeremiah Irby as the Ducks try, Emroth, to get something going on the ground.
Yeah, it looked like they took Dan Lanning's words to heart, getting the football on the edge of this Boise State defense. You see big 76, big Josh Connolly out there leading the way for Jordan James.
The left tackle as Gabriel play fake. He's going to run this time and slide. Flag, crowd wants one. Tubner hit him. Gabriel slow to get up.
I see Dillon trying to get the flag right there. I think that might have been a late slide, and Tubner may have already been in his tackling motion. Yeah, but it is helmet to helmet.
As Gabriel was sliding, he gets protection as a quarterback here when sliding, and now referee Chris Coit is going to stop the game and look at a potential targeting.
What we're looking here is for any forcible contact to that head neck area. As you mentioned, Mike, the quarterback began a late slide, which doesn't matter. The onus is still on number 34 to avoid forceful. You do see him coming in an attack when he lowers his helmet. However, this is a glancing blow and not one, in my opinion, that is forceful enough for this to be created targeting by replay. This may fall into that area deemed to be the crown. However, the component that's necessary to create a foul would be the forcible contact. I just don't see this as forcible to me. This is more glancing. I don't believe replay should create this foul. Initially, it looked like a good no call on the field.
After review, targeting, defense number 34, 15-yard penalty, 1st and 10. Number 34 is disqualified for the remainder of the game.
Andrew, that's a big loss for this Boise State defense. I believe he's the green dot guy. He's the guy that's wearing the communication.
Spencer Tubner's going to have to watch the rest of this game from the sideline as the ball is now just shy of the 40 and Oregon gets into the big game. Flags out. James tripped up. That is a touchdown saving tackle, but there's a flag all the way back to the line of scrimmage.
Offense number 55, 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
The left guard Marcus Harper flagged for holding.
And it was a good tackle by Zion Washington, the boundary safety. As you can see right here, see Marcus Harper with the little bit of a hole right there,
That's a takedown right there.
Taking the linebacker down to the ground.
Taking up Braxton Feely, and now penalties on consecutive plays by this Boise State defense. Or rather, penalty on the defense, and now a penalty here, beg your pardon. Andrew, Oregon takes it back the other way. Another nice gain on the ground by Jordan James. So Dan Lanning, as Laura told us on the sideline, hammered it into his team in the locker room. You got to run the ball. You got to stop the run.
Yeah, some nice runs, but they're challenging the edges of this Boise State defense, getting away from the strength. Herbert Gums, Braxton Feely, getting away from those defensive tackles.
It's a gain of 10 to get back the penalty yardage to bring up 2nd and 10. And now Noah Whittington, who is less than a year removed from a major knee injury, an ACL a year ago, came back inside of a year, played in the opener last week, had 14 carries for 33 yards, returned to play, one thing, returned to performance, another thing, trying to get that burst back, carry for 2. 3rd and 8.
He's the speed in the backfield for this Oregon Ducks offense. Jordan James more of the power.
Whittington was motioning left and now back in the backfield. Terrence Ferguson, the tight end, hand down, left of the formation. Catch, and a slant, and a go. That's going to be a touchdown. Meet me in the end zone. Traeshon Holden, 59 yards.
Touchdown, Traeshon Holden. Great throw. Great protection from this offensive line of the Oregon Ducks. An even better finish by Traeshon as he sprints into the end zone and adds some electricity to this stadium.
Evan Stewart had the explosive back in the first half to set up an Oregon touchdown. Here's another explosive, something they lacked so badly a week ago, but afterwards, the extra point by Sappington is off the right upright. So Oregon gets to the end zone, but fails to take the lead. We're tied at 20 after Dilon Gabriel hits Traeshon Holden, breaks a tackle, and races with Tez Johnson to the end zone. 59 yards, Traeshon Holden, an explosive MROP. That's what they needed.
Yeah, they definitely needed. This offensive line blocked everything up front. Look at all of the defenders. This is what you call a zero blitz, right? I got that cat, I got that cat, I got that cat, right? All out blitz. And again, Dilon Gabriel stands in the pocket strong. When you get a defense like this, it's one broken tackle and you hit your head on the goalpost. High five from Tez Johnson. Great play.
Traeshon Holden racing with Tez Johnson into the end zone. Also known, that all-out blitz, that zero blitz, as a casino blitz. In other words, you gamble and you may lose. They gambled, Boise State did, and Oregon won the hand.
And they lost. And again, here's that broken tackle. Coach Lanning told us this week, I need guys to break tackles. We want to get our guys in space. They're going to challenge
Offside
us.
kicking team number 13. 5-yard penalty will be added to the touchback spot. It's 1st and 10.
As Boise State comes down, now tied at 20 after this extra point. Ashton Jeanty in the backfield. Speaking of casinos, he couldn't even speak at Mountain West Media Day in Vegas because he is only 20. And it was in a 21 and only hotel in Vegas. They had to find a different spot for Jaenty to meet the media as the man who was second to the nation a year ago in yards from scrimmage. Here he loses yards, hit a couple of times behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, there's the kid Brandon Johnson again, a safety getting into the backfield of Boise State. Dan Lanning came out of halftime saying we have to run the football and stop the run. It looks like if Boise State wants to move the football, quarterback Madsen is going to have to make some plays with his arm.
As Lanning and Tosh Lupoid bring in pressure from the secondary there to try to stop the run. It's a loss of 2. Lauder now in motion. Madsen almost picked off. Jordan Birch had clear sailing if the big man could bring it down.
Big time play recognition by this kid Jordan Birch. The 6'6", 290-pound senior out of South Carolina. He sees Jaenty starts to peel off. He stays with them, almost gets the interception. You look at it right here. That would have been a walk in the end zone for Jordan Birch. Good play.
How about the defensive lineman in coverage on one of the best backs in America? Now it's 3rd and 12. Crowd gets loud. Madsen lofting, left sideline. Knocked away, incomplete.
Strawn was bobbling that, but that was a great catch. I'm sorry. I know he was out of bounds, but look at the concentration. He thought he got 1 foot in. He thought he got 1 foot in.
Now James Ferguson Reynolds on the punt, put the last one inside the 20. This one, a low line drive, again inside the 20. Tez is going to let it roll out of bounds. Thought it was out of bounds. He's going to pick it up. Yep, out of bounds, right there at the 4. So another great job on the low, bouncy hit. Ferguson Reynolds, the Aussie punter who donates $20 to Flock, F-L-O-C-K, Cancer, in honor of his mother, who's a cancer survivor. Every time he puts a punt inside the 20, and has now done it twice. Number 20, James Jordan, with a nice carry here to open up this drive. Jordan James, beg your pardon. Andrew, not dyslexic. Jordan James with the carry. Rob, they opened that last drive with James on the ground. They do it again. It's a gain of 10, as it was to open the last drive.
Yeah, this kid's running hard tonight. And again, when he first bounced that last run play, I thought he was going to get himself in trouble because he was close to the end zone. But showed great short area quickness and burst when he got into the hole. Got an explosive run.
Jordan James, 11 carries, 70 yards here, even though Oregon is only 52 yards rushing as a team. That's because that man, Dilon Gabriel, has been sacked 4 times. Gabriel hands it again to James. Big hole. James down the sideline. That's another nice run, but there's a flag back on the 12. Tackle by Marco Notariani.
Holding, offense number 72. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
That is Pancho Lalulu, the guard who finished last year at center when Jackson Powers Johnson didn't play in the bowl game.
Yeah, we check out this hole right here from Big Pancho as he's trying to fight to get to the outside of the defensive tackle right there. Just had a grip of the shoulder pad, can't do that.
That is Herbert Gums, the 6'1", 312-pound defensive tackle wearing 98. We see him on offense sometimes. Kenyon Sadiq, number 18, goes in motion, the tight end. Short gain here on 1st and 17. 2nd and 16 after the holding penalty.
Yeah, defense coordinator Eric Shenander, he said he had to cut down on some of the volume. A lot of these guys will play a little faster.
Give to Whittington. He's going to push it across the 10. Make it 3rd and slightly more manageable.
Andrew stay in this game.
Andrew Simpson and Rob had a sack earlier, number 10. Let's see if they bring the pressure. Oregon's going to run. Not going to do it. And you hear the Austin crowd voice its displeasure.
You got one of the top quarterbacks in all of college football. You just gave up something. You just put some explosive plays out there on tape. Thought they would try it.
Ross James from the 2. It will bounce. Take an Oregon bounce. Out of bounds near the 37. And want to drop him back and stand him on his goal line. Limar carried for a couple of yards and then they punt. And now they try to stop Ashton Jeanty. It's a gain of 1. Jaenty at 89 on the night on the ground. Move the pocket. Madsen throwing. Knocked down at the 42. No flag.
Great job by Jabbar Muhammad on that play, closing the space between him and the intended receiver. Wow. This kid, again, a transfer from Washington last year, closing in on this football. May have got there.
Early on Bolt, left arm around his helmet. This drive alive. Empty backfield. Madsen goes 5 wide. Gun. Flag out. Madsen down the sideline once. Jaenty. He brought it down. Is he in? No.
Illegal formation, offense, more than 4 players in the backfield. The penalty line, it's 4th down.
Jackson, you could make the argument, might be the fastest linebacker in America. But the 100 and the 200, he is a pretty darn good track athlete and a fast runner. And now the low punt. And Tez Johnson's going to field this one. Breaks a tackle. Johnson, a couple of moves. Johnson with some room. He's at the 30. He has blockers. Tez Johnson to the sideline. It's a foot race. And Tez will win. Touchdown. 85 yards.
Touchdown, Tez Johnson. Wow. This stadium has woken up. This kid has been running around trying to get the football all day. Finally makes his play on special teams. It was a low kick. He found some space. And Andrew, when he cut back across the field, all the Oregon Duck fans put their hands up. Touchdown.
Let's see if Sappington now can hit this extra point right down the middle. And number 7, Oregon, jumps back in front. Ty Benefield couldn't make the tackle. Tez Johnson got into space, got his blocks. They were clean. And look at Dan racing him down the sideline.
And Andrew, I'm telling you, right about here, Tez hit another gear, and he completely outran everybody on the special teams for Boise State. This is the speed Dan was telling us about all week. Let's get our speed in space and force Boise State to make tackles. Tez Johnson, one of the best in the country. Yeah, that play was the turning point thus far in this game. Let's see if Boise State offense can respond.
They'll have to do it after a touchback. 27-23, 57 remaining.
Kicking team number 36. The receiving team will put the ball in play at the 5-yard line. 1st and 10.
Now from the 35 after the penalty on the kickoff. Sire Gaines into the game. The freshman running back, Madsen, time to throw over the middle. Knocked away, Kobe Savage. He wanted Bolt, but the safety was all over him. 82 Ben Ford is in motion there in the backfield. Gaines on the carry. Gaines, he's got some leg drive. This crowd is awakened as well. 3rd and 5. Yellow line next to the yellow O on the field at the 45. Play clock winding down. Madsen barely gets it off. Gives to Jaenty. Turn to the quarter. Ashton Jeanty. 1st down after the 48.
The nation again. Look at this stiff arm, guys. This is an outside run. Trying to find a lane. There's he using that stiff arm again. Again, always falling forward. It's the 1st down.
Jaenty is 98. Now Madsen, deep shot. What's strong? Can't connect at the 5.
Play. Trying to go over the top of this Oregon defense. Kobe Savage right there on the coverage. Just a little overthrown. Madsen right there. You wish Strong would have laid out for that one. Game of inches.
Strong from the Bahamas. His brother Michael, former 7th round pick of the Colts, also a wide receiver. Could not come down to that one. 2nd down. Give to Gaines. Boise goes back to what it does well, and you see their Bossa punching on that football. When Gaines was down to the ground, we saw Tosh Lupoy, the defensive coordinator for the Ducks during the timeout, making that motion to his team, saying, go get that ball.
Absolutely, attacking the football again in moments like this, right? Boise State is down. They've had some issues trying to move the football. Now is the perfect time to go attack the football. You look at Madsen, his 2nd half numbers, not good, Andrew.
1 for 9. Now 3rd and 7. Madsen, clean pocket, caught. Caples has it, and that's a 1st down.
That could have been a touchdown. Tosh Lupoy again. All of these guys are going to be rushing the quarterback. 0 coverage again. 1-on-1 across the board.
And now the fake pitch to Jaenty, and a dangerous throw, just kind of lofting it into the flat there to Caples.
It's always around the football.
Sorry, Rob coming up on 1 minute remaining here in the 3rd. 2nd down. Another shot. Incomplete. Coverage there by Nico Reed. It's 9-on-9 again. Camper, who had a touchdown earlier, the intended receiver.
Again, Nico Reed on the coverage, who also had a great interception of himself last week.
Exactly. To end the game of the fourth quarter here for the Ducks. Third down, look out, pressure for the backside. A low throw, and it's caught. Gain of 11, and they're going quick.
Before the referees can take a look at the pass.
Oregon looking to his sideline, and eventually Chris Coy, our referee, stepped in and said, let's take a second look.
Let's take a look at this right here. Madsen throws a good football, throwing it away from the defenders. Yeah, that ball hit the ground. Went through Prince Strong's hands right there.
Let's go to Reggie Smith, our officiating analyst. Beg your pardon. Reggie, what do you say?
Just like you guys saw, this is an incomplete pass. The ball skipped off the ground.
Let's check it out right
After
here.
review, the pass is incomplete. It's fourth down.
This ball is spotted on the 37. It's a 55-yard try unofficially for Jonah Domas, just one shy of his career long. This is to get the Broncos to within 3. Domas from 55 has enough leg, but it's no good.
Oregon takes over. This defense held strong. Again, attacking the football in the ball carrier's arms, sending zero blitzes, trying to dictate action and force mistakes from this Boise State offense. See what Dilon Gabriel and this Oregon offense can do.
See what they can do. Take it over 37-yard line. Whittington, little cutback, finds a hole to the sideline. Number 7 Oregon has retaken the lead, leading 27-0 over the upstart Boise State Broncos. 15 minutes of football remaining here at Autzen with the Ducks trying to go to 2-0. Welcome back. Big Ten Saturday on Peacock, presented by Geico. One of, hands down, the greatest traditions in all of college football. End of the third quarter here at Autzen Stadium. Otis Day and the Knights shout. And that third quarter been so good to Oregon here tonight. Outscoring Boise State 12-0 in the third to take the lead 27-20. The number 7 team in the nation now trying to rally and continue the longest home winning streak against non-conference opponents in America. Jordan Whittington with a good start to this drive, moving the chains for 11.
Yeah, that was some tough yards right there for Noah Whittington. Again, he's the speed in the backfield, but he does a great job right there getting behind those big guys right there, running through arm tackles and getting positive yards.
Beg your pardon, it's a gain of 8, but it's enough for a first down. Now the throw over the middle by Gabriel. That's caught by Traeshon Holden with a long touchdown early.
Now you can see this Oregon offense getting in a little tempo. They see that they have this Boise State defense and defensive line kind of on their heels. They don't want them to get their calls from the sideline. They want to keep them in the defense that they have them in, so they can push the ball downfield.
And they can keep this defense on its toes. 2nd and 2, gain of 8, a minute into the fourth quarter. Look out, Gabriel out of a set. Now he's going to run. Dilon Gabriel's got some wheels. He turns what could have been the 5th sack of the night for this Boise defense into a first down run to the 35 and a gain of 9.
Wow, great job by Dilon Gabriel. We all knew that he had scramble ability, but I didn't know that he was fearless like this as well. Looked like another lefty that played in the Bay Area, Steve Young a little bit, but does a great job again, and then getting down, doesn't take a big hit, getting positive yards.
Jayden Virgin Morgan to the backfield, could not wrap up. Now Gabriel the play fake and throw to the outside. Patrick Herbert, ball's out, ball's loose. Boise State falls on it. Is it a catch and a fumble? Yes, it is.
Big time tackle, Zion Washington. Boundary safety comes up, lays the wood.
And Marco Notriani with the recovery.
See Dilon right here on the RPO. Watch Zion putting his face mask right where the ball is. Pops the ball out. It's a big-time tackle right there on a big tight end. See Big Marco with the recovery. Boise State, they're back in it.
Absolutely. Zion Washington, who's wearing the green dot now, getting the defensive signals after Alexander Tubner, the Oregon native, was disqualified for targeting earlier. And now after the fumble by Herbert, 30-yard line. Boise is going to set up shop. Give to Jaenty. Ashton Jeanty breaks free. Jaenty gone. 70 yards.
Wow. The top running back in all of college football, Ashton Jeanty, will not let the Boise State offense, will not let these guys fall back. Look at that cut. And right here, I question his long speed. I do not question his long speed anymore. Running away from the Oregon defensive backs. Wow.
Second touchdown of the night for a Heisman hopeful. And Dalma's extra point has tied this game. There's something to shout about if you're a Bronco fan. Ashton Jeanty has 166 yards on the ground. This offense had done nothing in the second half. This ain't nothing. We are tied 27 all. You're looking at the best running back in America through 2 weeks of college football. His name is Ashton Jeanty. He ran for 267. Those are real numbers last week. Tonight he has 168 yards and 2 scores. He has 8 touchdowns through 7+ quarters of football. And we are tied at 27 as Whittington is going to field this inside the 5. Oregon running back at the 20. 25-30, flag is out, and Whittington out of bounds. Nice return, 35-yard line there. Bounce. Chris Coit.
During the return, holding receiving team number 17. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Casper called for the hold. Last week, Ashton Jeanty, M-Rob, had a 75-yard touchdown, a 77-yard touchdown. This is a 70-yard score.
Yeah, I mean, it totally split this Oregon defense right down the middle. You see the wham block by the tight end coming across. Opens up the middle of this defense. But Ashton Jeanty, I like the dance.
And the eventual win over Georgia Southern. He was asked afterwards, as we see Dan Lanning on the sideline, his team now tied, 13 minutes to go. Jeanty was asked, did you do that on purpose? Was it planned? Was that the idea when you scored? He said yes, he planned it. And he might be able to plan a trip to New York. I know it's early here, only a couple of weeks in, as James opens up this Oregon drive again, as they have in the third quarter and fourth quarter, second half, with good pickups.
The thought is he could possibly run for 2,000 yards. I mean, after the start, after the last couple of weeks, I definitely think he can get it done.
As
ball out.
Another fumble. Boise State's on top of it. Wait for the call. Benefield.
The ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by the defense. First down.
For the second straight possession, Oregon has given it up.
Yeah, I don't think Dillon was ready for the snap right here. Charlie Pickard snapped the ball before Dillon was ready. Dillon tried to just get back to the line of scrimmage. But as you can see, the ball awareness from Andrew Simpson punching that football out.
Gabriel a fumble after he wasn't ready for the snap from the walk-on center. And now Madsen throws to the boundary. Camper with that catch, and he is down once that knee is down.
When you have a running back like Ashton Jeanty, again, whenever you turn around to make the motion to hand the football off, all 11 eyeballs on the defense, they freeze, they stop. They worry about a physical altercation with Ashton Jeanty.
The momentum swings in this game have been wild. Jaenty
That is
Through
crazy.
these 2 weeks, not
just
tonight.
2 weeks.
That would
just
be
2
impressive.
weeks.
Regardless, impressive.
Very
He's at
nice.
174 now. Strawn in motion. Give to Jaenty. Patient in the backfield. Finding a hole and pushing forward. And
a tough tackle.
Ran into the 320-pound wall that is Amari Washington, number 52. 2nd and 6. Jaenty straight up the middle. Jaenty spinning. Jaenty still on his feet to the goal line. Put him up. Touchdown.
Touchdown, Ashton Jeanty. He's showing the world all of the tools. You see him right there. Just dragging defenders into the end zone. Ashton Jeanty being the best player on the football field.
Did Jaenty get across the goal line with that football before his knee or elbow was down?
Yeah, let's see. He's falling forward, surging toward the goal line. I think that's 6, Andrew.
Is that knee or shin down? Reggie Smith, our officiating analyst, what do you see?
I'm seeing a hard time finding indisputable evidence that would show otherwise. At this angle, it appears we can't see the ball, but we can piece together when the ball carrier might be down. And whether it's from this angle or the reverse angle, it's really hard to see, where he may be down and the location of the ball. What they're looking to do when I say piece it together is take an angle where they can clearly see a body part down and compare that with various
After review, the ruling of a touchdown stands.
And that's the right decision in this case.
All right, Reggie, thank you. 3rd touchdown of the night for Ashton Jeanty. 9 touchdowns already. And we're not done with week 2. And these Boise State Broncos are not done either. 10-15 remaining in the 4th quarter, looking to go up 7 now.
I mean, Uwe Ungalale was on his back, and Jeanty carried him into the end zone.
He is that strong. And this would be that big for Boise State if they can pull off the stunner. Herbert with the fumble. And then another one. Gabriel, the fumble. Jaenty gives Boise the lead.
Boise State with a 7-point lead in the 4th quarter after 2 costly turnovers from Oregon. I just walked behind the Oregon benches and I saw Dilon Gabriel getting his right hand worked on by 2 trainers. They kept patting it with a towel. It appears he has a cut on his right hand, Andrew.
All right, Laura, thank you for that. Something to look for and keep an eye on here as Dilon Gabriel's going to have to rally his team. 34-27, 10-15 remaining here in the 4th quarter. Gabriel last week banged his left hand, his throwing hand, on a follow-through. Showed it this week to us on Friday, said he's good to go, and he does not seem to have an issue with it. But there's an issue here as Whittington breaks free. Noah Whittington, the 20, far side 10. Bam! 100-yard kickoff return.
Wow.
You having fun yet?
Yeah, Andrew. Whoa. Noah Whittington.
You don't need the quarterback to throw the football when you get that.
You definitely don't. With a burst of speed, he runs into one of his blockers, cuts back across the field, and it's pay dirt after that.
Guy had a major knee injury, not even a year ago. The 23rd of September. Noah Whittington looks like he's back.
It's under review. The runner may have let the ball go prior to crossing the goal line plane.
Oh boy. Let's look at it again. Tez Johnson had an 85-yard punt return. Whittington for now a 100-yard kick return. But Chris Coy wants to take a second look. Did he carry it all the way across the goal line? Or, Emrod, did he drop it?
That's close. I gotta
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. It's a touchdown.
That's as close as you're going to get.
That's very close.
And that was a very quick review.
He was letting that ball go before his toes crossed the line.
Oh, man.
I know it's about the ball breaking the plane. Wow.
Kids, friendly reminder. Carry that football in to the end zone. And now Sappington, who missed one earlier, nails this. Back and forth we go. 34 with 9:59 that lives up to the last couple of minutes. Undoubtedly, amazing action remaining.
This cutback right here is where he really turned on the burners. You see his stride length get a little bit longer. And you see Evan Jackson right there caught up with him, passed him, and still blocked somebody. Just explosive playmakers in space. And that's been the difference so far.
And remember, Jackson's a sprinter, runs the 100, runs the 200, and there helping Whittington run 100 on the return.
Man, it's got to feel good for that kid. As you said, Andrew, coming back off an injury, second game back in the end zone.
It's one thing to return to play. It's another thing, and I'm going to quote Sean McVay, head coach of the Los Angeles Rams here. It's another thing to return to performance.
Absolutely.
Noah Whittington returned to play last week. Tonight, he returned to performance.
And you can tell, like, the way the sideline just erupted and gave this kid all the congratulations. That's what the team sport is all about.
Whittington, the transfer from Western Kentucky, the redshirt junior, 5'8", 207, showing the speed is back on that 100-yard return. 2 special teams touchdowns tonight for the Ducks.
Let's see if this Oregon defense can control the line of scrimmage and stop the best back in the country, Ashton Jeanty.
Play fake to that back. And now Madsen with pressure on, throws over the head of Caples and throws it away. Second down.
If I'm Boise, I want to get the ball back to number 2, Ashton Jeanty.
As we see number 9, Nico Reed. Jaenty in the backfield. The tight end Lauder to the right of the formation. Madsen claps the hands. Gives it to Jaenty. 2 arms on that football as he powers forward to the 28. Kobe Savage among a group there. Betcher as well, and Birch of Oregon tacklers. 3rd and 7. Madsen fires low near the 35. Is that a catch? Yes, it is. Move the chains. Cam Camper, who scored earlier, with the catch for a first down and a gain of 9.
It's a good route by Cam Camper. He's so quiet at the top of his routes. You see Boise back on the ball.
Back on the ball quickly. And now the ball back on the ground with a flag out as well.
5-yard penalty, first down.
From Wesleyan High School here in Oregon, Zach Holmes filling in at center tonight for the injured Mason Randolph, who was out with a biceps injury suffered last week. 1st and 15. Madsen all kinds of time. Madsen, dangerous throw, knocked away. That's Jeffrey Bassa, the linebacker there with a hand on it.
It's a great play by Jeffrey Bassa right there. Just being in space, there he is. Again, forcing the quarterback to throw the football over his head. Trying to clear it right here. My teleprompter's a little messed up. But it's all good. It's all good. Great play by Jeffrey Bassa.
Telestrator, teleprompter, this one not going by the script here, Emrod. As Boise will run after Bassa made that nice play on 2nd and 15.
Let's see what Dirk Cutter has in store.
9 of 17 on 3rd down. Madsen has Jaenty next to him. Madsen has pressure up the middle. He's going to step up and get brought down. Birch and Tuioti, and it's 4th down.
Jordan Birch, great job with his effort, rushing the passer, doing his counter move, some games up front. Madsen trying to stay strong in the pocket. See Jordan Birch on his retrace. Almost got the football out right there as he's attacking the football in Madsen's hands.
And now it's punt. Holds, stands back on his 18-yard line. Tez Johnson had an 85-yarder earlier for a touchdown. That's officially a sack for Birch. All right, first time in 23 years since we are 34 all that Oregon's got a kick return and a punt return for a touchdown. There was a question, did Noah Whittington drop that ball before he crossed the goal line? Reggie Smith tells us that after consulting with the Big Ten officiating center, the answer is yes, he did, but it was immediately picked up by a teammate in the end zone, and that is why the 100-yard return stood. 6:56 remaining now as we are back underway, and Stewart, who had a touchdown earlier, has this catch from Gabriel. He gets decent yardage to open up this drive as we are coming up on 6:40 remaining in the fourth quarter.
So, Andrew, it was a 99.5-yard return with a fumble recovery for a touchdown. Is that how it goes?
Evidently. Evidently.
Oh, man.
As Gabriel snaps, throws low, caught. Terrence Ferguson haven't called his name much tonight. Heck of a tight end with his second catch on the night. And that's going to be a first down of the 40-yard line. 100 career receptions now for the veteran tight end, Terrence Ferguson.
Yeah, offense coordinator Will Stein said this is an explosive player, matchup nightmare. He's going to get him the ball even more.
He had 7 for 87 a week ago. And now the end around. James on the carry.
James carries.
Stays in bounds. Clock is winding.
Illegal shift, offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
It was the little things on offense. Illegal shifts, holding, not being able to get lined up right last week. That was the downfall of this Oregon offense overall. That's why it wasn't a bigger win. It was a 10-point win over Idaho. They still won and racked up the yardage here. But they got to get those little things right here in a tie game in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, got to get the little things right as they're trying to work on their offense and get this offense to a championship level. They know they have their quarterback. They're working on this offensive line, got the skill guys.
Oh, the flip to James, a little trickery here, and that's not going to work. Nice! Amarian McCoy drills James in the backfield as it's almost like a little hook and ladder behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, it was a little hook and ladder right there. Again, a little throw right there.
Johnson to James.
Tez Johnson flips it to Jordan James. You just wonder, does Oregon feel like they need to do trick plays?
Interesting. Gabriel now has time to throw. Gabriel takes a shot, misses it downfield. Oh, man, that was close. He wanted Stewart, and if he hit him, he'd still be running.
Yeah, just missed this explosive connection. These guys have been explosive all night. Evan Stewart has been the #1 receiver for Oregon all night. Again, good route, widens the corner, takes it back up inside. Dillon just put a little bit too much on it. Right off his fingertips.
He blew right by Devon Banks, who played Boise last year when he was at UW, but they couldn't connect. Now Gabriel wants Holden! Again! They can't connect on a deep shot.
Field right there. You see Traeshon Holden a little upset because he knew he had a wide open touchdown. Would have been touchdown #2 for him. Just outside of his outstretched arms.
And Oregon is 2 for 9 on third down tonight. Had 2 would-be big plays. 2 plays in which they could still be running for scores. But Gabriel could not connect with Stewart and then Holden. And now Ross James is on to punt. Short one. Gonna let it bounce. And now Caples picks it up off that bounce after it took a Oregon bounce, and he's going to slide down on the 22-yard.
Worked is a kind word.
Jaenty's been doing work. He's 9 yards away from 200 in the backfield. Madsen maybe changing the play, shifts his back. Crowd making noise. Play clock under 10. Give to Jaenty, who lowers his shoulder. Officially a gain of 4, 2nd and 6. They're going to empty out the backfield. 5 wide for Madsen. Madsen fires to his tight end, and that one's knocked away. Wanted Lauder. Betcher, the center fielder for the Astros one day, breaks it up.
Good job by Bryce Betcher right here. Just doing a good job being in the right place, attacking the football as the football arrives to Matt Lauder. Just a little basic stick route. It's good defense.
As we're under 4 minutes to go, we should note each team has its full 3 timeouts up on the scoreboard. 2-minute timeout coming up as well. On 3rd down with pressure coming. Can't connect with Caples. Johnson on the coverage. Punt time.
You see your man going motion for Boise State. That tells Madsen all he needs to know. But just if he could have put this ball a little bit more outside, maybe he gives his wide receiver, the Trail Caples, a chance.
As James Ferguson Reynolds is back to punt. The Aussie with a boot towards the sideline. Tez Johnson, who had the 85-yard return earlier, calls the fair catch near the 33.
She'll have it there, 1st down.
Well, let's go back to Oregon's last offensive drive. They tried the little trick play here, Rob, a hook and ladder, if you will, in the backfield.
Yeah, I don't quite get the play call. I mean, hey, they may have seen something, but if you can get looks like this, you can just drop back and you can just run your normal offense. Just go execute and complete it and just finish the play if you're Oregon. And so the trick plays, to me, I just don't get it.
Sadiq's in motion to the top of your screen. The tight end from the state of Idaho takes that, has blockers. Kenyon Sadiq breaks free. That's a nice gain for Oregon to near midfield and a 1st down.
See Big Sheldon Newton, defensive tackle for Boise State on the tackle. Big guy getting out in space and running, 6'3", 320 pounds.
Do we have a flag here?
Kenyon Sadiq right there, the athletic tight end. Again, a quick pass for Dilon Gabriel. Just get the ball out of his hands. Get your big guys in space. Get those offensive linemen blocking corners and defensive backs. It's a good play.
And you got a 320-pound defensive lineman coming down there and making the tackle. There was no timeout, but they're going to back this one up and spot it near the 46 as James gets hit in the hole there by Marco Notriani.
Usually he makes guys miss right there. Notrini. That's a good tackle.
He gets by Notriani, has some room to run. Gain of 2. Under 3 minutes to go. Gabriel, a little check down there. Holden with the catch, close to a 1st down. Not going to be enough, however. Oladipo with the tackle.
Traeshon Holden has done a good job tonight. Obviously in the touchdown and being explosive and getting open on the deeper patterns, but just being available for Dilon Gabriel, having a big body, being open for him.
Dan Lanning told us yesterday that they opened practice this week with a 4th and 1 drill. Can you get a yard? Right? Because in short yardage last week they had issues. Here it's 3rd and 1. Can you get a yard here to keep this drive alive? Patrick Herbert in motion. The tight end lines up on the left. Now Tez Johnson. Motion to the right as we are at the 2-minute timeout.
If I'm Will Stein right now, I'm doing a play that gets to the edge, right? Jordan James has found some space on the edge, or if I'm not putting the ball in his hands on the edge, I'm doing some type of read option to give Dilon Gabriel an opportunity to run the football.
Tight end Ferguson in motion. Now he's under center, backs away, give it to James. Now throw it to Ferguson on the play fake. And Ferguson's going to get the 1st down. A little bit of trickery there. Ferguson, the tight end, was under center, backed away. then a play fake, and then a throw to that tight end.
That was a lot of work for, 2 yards?
Yeah, well said.
A lot of work, a lot of trickery. You see Ferguson get under center, then he leaks back out with a little pick play from Traeshon Holden.
Jeremiah Irby the tackle. Gabriel deep again. End zone. Incomplete. Waiting for the flag. There it is.
He may have gotten Jeremiah Irby for pass interference. And not
Pass interference. Defense number 6. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
They get Irby. Remember, not a spot foul. This is in the NFL. It's 15 yards. They're holding hands running down the field.
Can't do that. He's holding the receiver's hands. He's getting into the body of Traeshon Holden. Never look back for the football. Yeah, that's pass interference.
Just holding hands on a Saturday night. And now the run and a spin. Hit the spin button. James gets close to 8 yards after the holding of hands. Granted, then there was a lot more contact. Clearly drawing the flag. And now Boise State with 1:20 to go is going to use its first time out. That is the kicker. The transfer from Oregon State, Atticus Sappington. He missed an extra point earlier. And we're tied at 34 because of it. His career long is 48. They are inside of that range right now. They're on the 22. So from here, it's a 40-yard attempt. But you don't want to leave it to your kicker.
Absolutely. You don't want to leave it to your kicker. You want to get as close as you possibly can. I'm sure Dillon Gabriel and Dan Lanning and those guys, I'm sure they want to score touchdowns. But you also want to take some time off the clock as well. You're in the scoring zone. And you want to leave as less time as possible for Ashton Jeanty, Madsen, and this Boise State offense to go down the field.
You want to run the football and make Boise burn some timeouts, but you also
Absolutely.
want to get in the end zone. Can't be too conservative. And remember, on a first down, inside of 2 minutes, the clock will stop as they spot the ball and reset the chains here. Stop momentarily, then the official will start it again. 1:22 on the clock. James up the middle. Looks to be enough. No, the official on the top of the screen says it's right at the line to gain. Thought he might have it, but as if James is about a half-yard short. So it's 3rd and 1 again.
3rd and 1. Another short yardage situation. You said it earlier. Andrew, Dan Lanning talked to us this week. He started practice this week with those 4th and 1, 3rd and 1 situations. Let's see if this offense picked up some tips during the week.
James over 100 yards. He needs 1 more yard here, and he's got more than that. James at the 10. James tripped up inside the 10-yard line. Zion Washington got around the ankles. First down, Oregon.
It's a good run right there by Jordan James. Straight through the middle, right up through the heart of this Boise State defense.
Jaden Virgin, Morgan, and Markel Reed cleaned it up there as Boise takes its second timeout. 1 remaining, 43 seconds left. So at this point, if Oregon scores, Boise State is not going to have a lot of time left, nor the timeouts. Career long, 36 yards here for Atticus Sappington.
And so now if I'm Oregon, I'm slowing things down. Probably running the football again. Hopefully you get into the end zone.
Remember, he missed the extra point earlier. Hit it off the right upright. The Oregon State transfer could have given the Ducks the lead at this point. All right, here we go. From the 8, up the middle. Boise's going to probably burn the final timeout here, and they do. 2nd and goal for Dan Lanning. Boise State has had a timeouts. 39 on the clock. The number 7 team of the nation has won 33 consecutive against non-conference opponents, but has never beaten Boise State. The run. James cuts it back inside and goes down near the 5. And now the clock runs. Oregon will stop it. And Rob, you're making a face with 30 seconds left to get Sappington out there. I would assume and not rush as he's still on the sideline warming up. You like that?
I mean, look, you know this game is going to end or come down to this field goal, but to me it's about keeping the least amount of time on the clock as possible. I probably would have waited till about 15 seconds or within 15 seconds. Again, leave yourself some time in case there's a snap that has some issues or whatever, but as less time as possible.
Yeah, like let it run.
Yes.
Let it run and then call timeout.
Yeah,
what am I missing?
Dan Lanning must see something or know something that we don't up here. But to me, you're leaving time on the clock for a possible whatever play that could happen from Boise State's offense.
Hold on, they're leaving Sappington on the sideline.
Getting to the middle of the field.
Yes, there we go. Gabriel takes the knee.
And now you let the clock go a little bit. So it's going to come down to the field goal. Should be a chip shot.
Atticus Sappington, Oregon State transfer from Central Catholic in Portland, has a chance to give the Ducks the win.
And I'm sure Boise State is going to send all 11 defenders after this field goal. And so especially the edges of the protection group have to be alert. You can't extend to try to go get players because it opens up gaps inside. Let's see if Oregon can come away with the win.
The punter Luke Dunn is the holder here. This is a 25-yard field goal. Sappington for the win for number 7 Oregon to rally and beat Boise State. Here we go. Movement of the line. There's the flag. Kick is up. The kick is good. But wait on the flag. Looked as if Boise State jumped
Offside in the neutral zone at the snap. Defense number 10. The penalties decline. The field goal is successful.
And Oregon survives. 37-34. Atticus Sappington, game-winning field goal. And Dan Lanning's Ducks fight and claw and win, beating Spencer Danielson's Boise State Broncos. What a game.
Great game by really both teams. Just Oregon had a little bit too much speed, a little bit too much opportunity. The special teams came through, 2 return touchdowns. They got their football right this week.
Gotta feel good for that kid. Missed the extra point earlier. Give it another shot. Sappington nails the field goal. And you see the Oregon fans celebrating. Don't have the students in yet. Classes don't start for a couple of weeks, but this place was loud without him here. And there were moments all night where it looked as if this might get away. But Oregon survived, and they ran the longest winning streak against non-conference opponents, and up to 34. But we also have to ask here. Look, Boise is good. All due respect to Boise, certainly. There is no but coming. I'll just say this. Should Oregon be the number 7 team of the nation? And should this game have been as difficult as it was?
That's a good question, Andrew. A really good question. I'm going to say yes, because they have won both games that were on their schedule. But let's just be honest about this. Dan Lanning and this coaching staff, they have some work to do, because there's a lot of transfers that came into this program, and these guys have to develop their chemistry. They have to develop their experience together.
Dan Lanning standing by with Laura Britt.
Coach, a hard-fought win tonight. What did you learn about your team in this close game?
That we're resilient, right? That we're resilient. We kicked ourselves in the foot a bunch today, and ultimately we had a team that went and got the W. A lot that we can learn from this game, but we have a resilient team.
This is the first ever win for Oregon over Boise State. What does that mean for this program?
It means a W. It means a W, and the next W is just as important. Next game is going to be our focus, right? We've got a lot to learn from this game. It's another game.
How impressed were you with the explosive offense that you guys showed tonight?
Yeah, when we're in rhythm, we can be really special, right? When we're out of rhythm, we're not. So it's about us continuing to find moments for that.
Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate it.
Dan Lanning's team wins, survives 37-34, and a tip of the cap as well to Spencer Danielson, Ashton Jeanty, and the Boise State Broncos. They are real, and they took the fight to Dilon Gabriel and the Ducks.
Dilon, a big win, a close game. What did you learn about yourself tonight in this game?
Yeah, just learned a lot about this team. You know, adversity strikes, it's real. There's ups and downs within the game, and I just love how we responded. But most importantly, the defense playing their butt off, and then that final drive, you know, I think, as a group, we needed that.
You faced a lot of pressure in the first half. How did you remain calm throughout this game?
Yeah, I've been playing ball for a little bit, so pressure's real, and it happens, but Boise's a damn good football team. You've seen it. That's why there's obviously a streak before this, but they played hard and played well, and we had to, come back and make it happen. So I'm proud of our guys. Like I said, I'm proud of our defense. They played their butt off.
You spread the ball out again tonight as you did in week 1. What does that say about your offense?
Yeah, I think we got a lot of playmakers, but we find creative ways to get them the ball, and of course you see what happens when the ball gets in their hands. So I'm proud of them, proud of everything they do.
Dilon, congratulations. Thanks.
Thank you.
Laura, thank you. Dilon Gabriel, thank you. Big win tonight for Oregon, and they need it all 60 minutes, but they get it.